Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Avalon. So this is going to be a general twin flame reading here, tapping into the energies of the twin flame collective here today. As always, if you feel drawn by the title of this video, then this message might be for you. However, if you're not completely certain that you are on a twin flame journey, you could also just be on a higher soulmate journey and watch it for that. But also you could just watch this video, and that's really the premise here, or the wish I have when it comes to all twin flame readings, is that you watch it for your own inner divine masculine and feminine energies here, because the inner balance of those energies within ourselves is what's going to create the life that is going to fulfill us and that's going to bring us the most joy and emotional as well as physical and mental and spiritual fulfillment. So keep that in mind as we're going to check in with spirit here and ask about the overall energy of the twin flame collective. Okay, thank you so much. So we have here the card Deep Knowing, number 43, and we have the card Flexible, number 19. So these numbers could be important to you here. 43 equals a 7 and 19 equals a 10 and can be boiled down to a 1. So the number 7 or the number 1 or 10 could be significant, or the number 19 or 43, of course. I'm really drawn to the colors of these oracle cards here because there's a lot of green in it. There's a lot of heart chakra energy, and at the same time a lot of orange, which is the solar plexus energy here. We also have the moon on the card. So if you're watching this in real time, we've just experienced a full moon in Virgo here in 2026. And so this energy of this full moon could be very significant for you. I have uploaded a video on this lunar eclipse in Virgo a few days ago. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to link it down below. But I feel like with this energy of spring also, but also with the longevity almost of this twin flame collective that I'm reading here and channeling right now, there's going to be a big opening here in the connection because the heart chakra of the divine masculine is opening up. So this could be that the divine feminine here, I feel like the divine feminine knows this. I feel like they know that the divine masculine is slowly but surely opening up to love and opening their heart up to allow themselves to feel more and to go through the emotions, so to speak. There's a level of flexibility the divine masculine is reaching that wasn't reached before, is the number one thing I'm getting here, where they feel able to open up a lot more when it comes to the emotional department, because they understand that their past definition of love was not actually what love is all about. They had a wrong idea in their head about love, and they kind of confused it with passion or lust, is what I'm getting. They had a completely closed off heart center and heart space. But I see that is changing. That is slowly but surely opening up here. I'm getting this visual of a gate to a villa or a big building opening up very slowly here, but slowly but surely. So there's a widening and opening of the heart, and the divine feminine is aware of that change in the divine masculine. So the divine feminine could feel this through her own heart chakra opening, through sudden glimpses or sudden energetic downloads she receives from the divine masculine. So you might feel a lot of love in your heart space out of nowhere. And that could be your divine masculine sending you love, and maybe that hasn't happened before. That's a clear sign that they are becoming more flexible in their approach of relationships and love. And I feel like the divine feminine has been waiting on that for quite some time. This full moon in Virgo here could be very important because we have this Virgo as well as Pisces energy going with this lunar eclipse. So Virgo energy is more like the analytical, the practical, the organized energy, but with Pisces, that is linked to emotions, that is linked to emotional maturity as well as emotional intelligence and emotional sensitivity. And it seems like that's an energy that is now opening up for the divine masculine here. Let's check the overall energy of the divine masculine here to get some more info and more details. We have the card stress, turbulence, tension, arguments. Okay. We have the card curse, hex, witchcraft, negative mind. Oh my gosh. Can you give me one more, Spirit? This looks stressful here. Distance. And at the back of the deck, we have realizations, epiphanies, understandings, awakenings. Yeah, this is what I'm sensing here with this overview through the oracle cards here in the energy, is that the Divine Masculine is going through a lot of light bulb moments right now that they didn't have before. Also keep in mind, if I'm talking about he or she here, this is not linked to the gender, but more so to the energy that I'm talking about. So I try to keep it neutral and use they and them as pronouns, but forgive me if I kind of mix that up a bit. But yeah, I feel like the Divine Masculine is having a lot of realizations and awakenings here. And we have seen that in the energy for the twin flames for a very long time now. But with these 3 additional cards here, I'm getting that this heart chakra opening, this emotional awakening that I'm sensing in the energy is causing a lot of tension and turbulence in the life that they have established for themselves. So this is a narrative and a story that we get a lot, but the Divine Masculine is usually in an energy of comfort and safety because they have built a life for themselves that is usually linked to a role or a mask, a facade that they have built up for themselves as some sort of protection. But no one actually gets through to them as much as the Divine Feminine does, which is why it is such an initial shock for them if they meet their Divine Feminine, because all of a sudden they're faced with all this emotional turmoil or emotional stress even, that they were able to kind of push away for a very, very long time. And all of a sudden they can't anymore. So what I'm getting here with this distance card is that you guys are in separation right now. Maybe you have blocked your Divine Masculine because of their emotional immaturity or because they weren't able to talk about their feelings or show them to you in a way that you could understand. Or maybe they have blocked you because this emotional intensity is just too much for them and too strong. It stresses them out. But what I feel most of all here in this energy is this emotional opening, this heart opening that they're experiencing right now is causing stress in their established life because it makes them aware that the life that they are living is a complete lie or is based on lies, on a personality that is not actually them. It's like the Divine Feminine sees them as a person, not as a personality. But everyone else in their environment sees them as some sort of personality, as a different person than what they actually are. But now, being cracked open emotionally, it gets harder and harder for the Divine Masculine to actually hide the truth of their being, to hide their emotional truth, but also their spiritual truth, the person that they truly are at their core. It gets more difficult for them to hide that from their established social circle. It's like they want to cover up the truth, but through this heart chakra opening that I'm seeing here, that's completely impossible for them. And it feels like they know that this is a shift and an awakening that is destined to happen for them here, but it's still difficult to handle for them because imagine that you have blocked off your emotions ever since you were a child, or ever since you've had a very difficult relationship when you were younger. And then years have gone by and you have learned to navigate life without considering your emotions. And then all of a sudden you meet your person and you just know that they're your person. Like there's a sudden realization, this is the person that I've been waiting for all this time, that I have sensed my entire life, but I couldn't really pinpoint that energy. And all of a sudden it's there personified right in front of me. And then you just have to handle all the emotions that come up to the surface without being able to control them. And that's going to feel like a wave that's just washing over you, and not necessarily in a satisfying way, but more so in a way of, feeling cursed, maybe feeling like maybe, the Divine Feminine has put a spell on them or something. I feel like they understand that the Divine Feminine here is very spiritual and much more emotionally advanced as they are. And so they might feel like they have put a spell on them, It's the Divine Feminine's fault that they all of a sudden can't withhold their emotions and their heart's truth anymore. But it's obviously not. That's just the dynamic of twin flames here that's coming into play. But I'm getting a lot of emotional turmoil here for the divine masculine as they try to navigate all this emotional opening that is happening here and the emotional awakening that they're going through. So it's just something they have to get used to. They're not going to reach out to their divine feminine here until they have all this emotional stuff under control, you know, and I don't mean pushing it away and controlling it that way, but learning to navigate it in a sense of becoming conscious of your emotions, allowing yourself to feel them, but then also being able to work through these emotions and letting them go. That's obviously something that the divine masculine is just now learning. They didn't have the tools before to face their emotional truth, and they still don't have that, but it's like the emotions rise anyway. The awakening is happening anyway, so the only way out of this is through. So they have to learn how to navigate this on their own, and once they have, I feel like the separation period is slowly but surely going to come to an end. But right now they're going through it here. There's a lot of emotional stress, and it seems like, you know, they've been cracked open and they're kind of stressed and overwhelmed with their real self coming out when they're surrounded by a lot of people who don't know who they really are. So all of a sudden, you know, the social circle of your divine masculine could see that they're changing, like the facade is cracking open, is no longer in place. And so the true being, the authentic being of your divine masculine is coming out more and more, and the environment does not know how to handle it. I see people being confused and triggered by your divine masculine, stepping more into their emotional honesty. And their social circle doesn't know how to handle it because for them, the divine masculine, they have never been an emotionally open or available person. This might be an emotional avoidant energy even, but their friends and their acquaintances, their family, are not used to this different side of your divine masculine here. And obviously it's not a different side, it's just a side that's been hidden, but it's now coming out, is what I'm getting. Let's see if we can get more info here. I'm going to push this up a bit so you can see it a lot better. So we have the Ace of Wands that flipped in the deck. Tell me more, Spirit, about the energy of the divine masculine here. Thank you. We have the Lovers at the bottom. So I'm getting very strongly that your divine masculine knows exactly who you are to them. That kind of awakening has happened, you know, that they understand who you are to them. There's a lot of clarity about you and what kind of role you play in your divine masculine's life. But there is still some sort of a decision here. There's still some sort of a crossroads energy as they're trying to integrate their emotions and understand their heart and how they could possibly feel such strong emotions for you. There's this energy of not knowing how to handle it yet, all this emotional intensity. And that's why you guys are still in separation and there's distance, because your divine masculine still has to put the work in here in terms of emotionally mature behaviors and understanding your emotions. Someone who has blocked off their feelings for a very long time, maybe all their lives, does not understand the emotions of other people, right? If you don't consider your emotions in your everyday life, you are not going to consider the emotions of other people in your life. If you are not emotionally mature, you don't understand the emotions of other people. And I feel like that was a huge misunderstanding here between you, potentially here as the divine feminine, and your divine masculine, is that you were kind of confused in the beginning when the separation period first started about how your divine masculine could consciously create so much hurt and pain for you guys in the connection. But what I'm seeing is that the divine masculine didn't do that consciously. They just weren't aware of their emotions and of your emotions. They didn't want to see it. They couldn't feel it because it was blocked off to them. And so you were more emotionally mature. You felt the separation and the betrayal in a much different way than your divine masculine did. And now that they're waking up to their emotional truth, they are finally starting to understand the emotional hurt and pain that they have caused you. Now that they start to feel their emotions, they also gather understandings about your feelings. That's what I'm getting. With the Ace of Wands, there is definitely the want for a new beginning between you guys. So your Divine Masculine wants a new beginning just as much as you want that. But I'm also getting a lot of emotional upheaval here. This is definitely also awakening energy and wanting to start new. But this is an energy of sitting, and if you want to call it that way, dwelling on the emotions here right now. So your Divine Masculine is in this energy of trying to understand what they're feeling and how to navigate that. And there's a certain balance here that they haven't reached. So the mental and emotional balance isn't there yet. You know, the inner yin and yang that we all try to reach inwardly has not occurred for your Divine Masculine yet. There is still an emotional imbalance because they are just now learning about their feelings and how to allow them in and how to deal with them. So that is a complete transformation here with the Magician energy that your Divine Masculine is going through, hence the separation continuing for a while. But I see them no longer running away from their feelings for the Divine Feminine and opening up more in the emotional department, trying to understand what the emotions tell him about his life. And it's showing because his social circle and the people he has around are noticing a shift within them. So I feel like the Divine Masculine is slowly but surely letting go of their life, the way that they lived it as of now, because the emotional truth makes it absolutely impossible for them to continue running from the truth of who they are, from the truth of what you are to them, what this connection is to the both of you, and the life that they actually want to build. And it's a completely different life than what they're living right now. So I feel like the Divine Masculine is learning to let their emotions guide them towards their authenticity and towards their emotional truth and towards their actual dreams and passions and wants and desires in life. So the emotions crack open the facade, and sooner than later, your Divine Masculine is no longer going to be able to relate to the facade and the old life that they have built for themselves. It's going to feel like, you know, they're going to feel like they're a completely different person, and they are no longer going to be able to go back to what they've known. They're cracked open. So let's see about the Divine Feminine here. What is the energy of the Divine Feminine here, Spirit? Within the Twin Flame Collective. Thank you. Escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away. That's interesting. Two more, please, Spirit. What needs to be brought to light? Resistance, secret admirer, suppressing, timid. Oh my gosh, that's two more cards. Oh my gosh, my Virgo rising is kicking here because I cannot get the cards to be placed the way I want them to. They keep on moving. Hang on, guys. Okay, so we have escaping, resistance, we have clinging, holding on, obsessing, spying. Jesus. And we have running as the last card. Ghosting, disappearing, invisible. Wow. I feel like the Divine Feminine is completely fed up with the situation. And if that's you, I feel it. I feel you. I know exactly what you're going through. I've been there. The Divine Feminine is in an energy of reprioritizing and refocusing on things that actually work out for them and things that make them feel good. So if this is you, I feel like you are much more focused on your own inner divine masculine and feminine energies, learning how to balance those, taking good care of yourself and avoiding everything that is keeping you down, that is blocking you from growth or blocking you from emotional fulfillment here. So as the divine masculine is figuring out their emotional space, you are figuring out your wholeness. You are understanding that you are whole and complete all by yourself. The divine masculine is going through an awakening that is deeply emotional, but they're learning what love and relationship truly is all about, and that you cannot build a healthy, long-lasting relationship if it's not built on mutual self-respect, yes, and equality, but also on emotions. And they have completely blocked their emotions out for a very long time. Meanwhile, you are learning that you are complete and whole just by yourself. That's what I'm seeing. You are blocking off anything or anyone, not necessarily just talking about the divine masculine here, but also talking about your social circle, maybe a family member, maybe a friend, maybe an acquaintance, maybe someone you work with, whoever it is, who is not making you feel good or who is disrespecting you in any way, which tells me that you have established proper and healthy boundaries for yourself, and you kind of, you're looking after yourself a lot more intensely than before. You're in this mama bear energy of you either come in right or you don't come in at all. And I don't have the time and the energy and the resources anymore to accept anything less than what I actually deserve. So if you don't come in right, don't come in at all. And if you do anyway, I'm gonna go. I don't have time for this. You're in this very protective energy here, protecting yourself, understanding your value, no longer settling, no longer accepting less than you deserve. And at the same time, I feel like you're aware of the emotional resistance that the divine masculine has had going on for a very long time here. You know that the connection is still there, and that you're never going to completely escape and run away from that. And with this running card, I don't think that you're in a runner energy, I just think that you're off doing your thing. We have two figures here walking off into the light, doing their thing. They're completely alone, just living their life and enjoying themselves. And I think that's what the divine feminine is up to. No longer holding on and obsessing over the divine masculine. Rather, I feel like the divine masculine might be emotionally chasing the divine feminine, hence the running energy here. You might feel the energy of the divine masculine more strongly now. So this could be a situation where all of a sudden the runner-chaser energies are flipped, where the divine masculine, through understanding their emotions, becomes more of a chaser, at least energetically here, because I think physically the distance continues, but I feel like the divine feminine might be aware of the emotional awakening the divine masculine is having, and they might be emotionally clinging to the energy of the divine feminine. And so she, or they, you, if you feel addressed here, is trying to create as much energetic distance as you can, because you are aware that what the divine masculine is going through is something that they have to go through alone, and you can't do it for them. You can't fix it, you can't heal them. You might have tried in the past, but you realized it's not working and it just made everything worse. So you have now established a healthy distance to your divine masculine, but also to everyone else who is not meeting you on your level, and that's very, very healthy. So congrats. Let's clarify this energy, but this is a very independent energy here, a very freeing energy. Oh, there's a card that flipped in the deck here. The Seven of Cups. Yeah, the divine feminine is making new choices, establishing a life for themselves the way they enjoy it. Very much focus on their own emotional fulfillment, and that fulfillment no longer being linked to another person or to another soul, meaning the divine masculine, but how you can build that emotional fulfillment yourself. And you're realizing you can. You don't need another person for that. That's the big breakthrough moment here that the divine feminine is having. Anything else, Spirit? We have the Empress. Beautiful. Beautiful. Literally, really, full-on Empress energy here. Full-on Mama Bear energy. Full-on I am independent and take no shit energy. That's what I'm getting here. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, back at the deck energy is the Wheel of Fortune. There's a massive, like, if you felt like your twin flame dynamic was stuck energetically, it's no longer stuck. Like, the energy is gaining momentum. There's a lot of energetic upheaval that is very much emotionally focused for your divine masculine and more so freeing for you, divine feminine. But we have the Six of Pentacles. We also have the Hanged Man, and we have the Sun card. So there's the number 19 again. The number could be very important or significant for your twin flame connection, but also just maybe for you personally. There's this energy of choosing very wisely what you allow into your life and building this new life for yourself very, very wisely and intuitively here with that Seven of Cups. You are in full-on Empress energy, meaning you are birthing new ideas, a new lifestyle, a new way of living and being in the world that is all embodying who you really are at your core. So that emotional awakening that the divine masculine is going through, that is bringing them closer to their true essence of self, is something that you have experienced long before. So you are much more advanced on the emotional and spiritual path here, and the divine masculine is basically following up, is what I'm seeing in the energy. But you are birthing new ideas. You are getting more into your creative hobbies or your creative side hustles here, fully focused on yourself and how you can serve yourself, how you can take good care of yourself. Asking yourself continuously, well, what do I need? When maybe in the past you have continuously asked yourself, well, what does my divine masculine need? You're no longer focused on the divine masculine at all. It's almost like they don't exist for you anymore. It's like you have made your peace with the fact that they're not ready yet. So you're just building the life that you want on your own. And if at some point they're ready, they can join you. I feel like you're holding space for them, but at the same time, you're not waiting for them. You're actively building the life of your dreams the way that you want it. And that's the best energy to be in. I'm so proud of you, and I know it's taking you quite some time to get there. So that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. But yeah, everything that is not reciprocated, anything that is not equal in any sort of social dynamics is out. You don't have time for it. And I feel like life is opening up to you and you feel a lot of joy and you feel a lot of inner balance and inner fulfillment here just by yourself. And that might be a complete new experience for you. So this is a twin flame connection that is learning how to become more whole and complete within themselves. For your divine masculine, this is about allowing themselves to feel their emotions and have a greater understanding about themselves through allowing those emotions. And for the divine feminine, it's this energy of becoming independent of any sort of past expectations or past experiences with the divine masculine, fully building the life of their dreams without being solely focused on the divine masculine at all. And I feel like the divine feminine, keep doing what you do, because eventually the divine masculine is going to join you on that journey. The moment that you have completely forgotten about them, that you don't think about them at all, which is what is going to happen here, if it hasn't happened already, know that it's going to happen very soon. The moment that you forget about them, that you're just focused on you and your own happiness, that's when they have navigated their emotional turmoil and have found more of an emotional balance, have grown more when it comes to being more emotionally mature, and that's when they're going to reach out to you again. You are both becoming more flexible in your approach of life and in your approach of the connection. No longer energetically pushing and pulling each other necessarily, but being more focused on your individual selves, so that once you have reached an inner balance, you can reunite. So this is still a separation phase, but we are definitely nearing the end of the separation. That's the kind of twin flame collective energy that I'm seeing here today. Okay, that was a long video. Thank you so much for watching and listening till the end. I hope this was helpful. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Love ya. See you next time.